Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and I'll hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you're liking what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is F1 2018, and it's the Manager Challenge mode. It's week 54 of the Gaming Decathlon competition, and we're going to start this episode off heading to Hungary, to the Hungaroring.
I've been in touch with some contacts at Williams, and they think your attitude and results might be a good fit for their team. We can talk to them at our next contract review if you're interested. Let's see what kind of offer they can put on the table.
Alright, so we have finally invested in something to do with one of the department, either efficiency or quality control sections here with the aero department. Something long needed, as it does have a huge impact in the long term, but with this manager challenge mode, we cannot afford to fall behind Williams. And at this point, it is oh so close. And it looks like we are just a little bit shy of the next upgrade here in the aero department, and that might be the way to go. Let's see, we are just above Williams there. We are bottom in the chassis department, so that would not be a bad way to go to get tire wear. We've got a weight reduction, 600 points there. 1100 for this weight redistribution. That would be a major one. Let's see, fuel consumption, engine power at 1118, that would be a nice one, and ERS. The next quality control here is 500, which we could technically afford now, but I'm afraid to make any kind of upgrade on that currently. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look. There's definitely some wear and tear again. It's still, what, mid-season? Where are we at? Round 11? Wow, look at that. Vettel has won 5 straight races. Dang. I think we are in need, right? 67% wear. And I'm going to put it on now before practice because, of course, for me, R&D is the biggest thing and not necessarily the race results. So that worn engine will affect me. So we're going to go ahead and put that on now. Before we head into practice, we'll leave the other parts as they are, as they're all in decent enough shape. But it looks like we are going to have a penalty here at some point before the end of the season, taking a 4th ICE. Gearbox looking good going into this last race for that one. And let's get to it. The Hungaroring.
Welcome to Hungary as we prepare for the start of the Hungarian Grand Prix. The teams are just making last-minute adjustments to their cars to accommodate for the damp conditions out on track ahead of today's practice session.
We could be skipping this one.
Now, I'd like to tell you it's bright and sunny and we're enjoying some...
Raining all through pre-practice 1. But dry for the second practice and qualifying and the race. So we're going to go ahead and skip to practice session number 2. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at the car setup. I do believe that I have Yes, okay, it's this race where I started my setups for my regular career mode. It is for Williams, but it should be relatively comparable. And let's go ahead and get out of this session. We're going to skip to free practice number 2. Leclerc comes across 12th. It is nice to start seeing him just outside of the top 10 on a relatively regular basis, though no points yet this season. Or just 1 point, 2 points so far. Curious, what is it? 2 points. 2 points for Leclerc. You can see just how tight it is there with 4 guys on less than 3 points and another 4 on 0. That's 8 drivers with 3 points or less. More than halfway through the season. So if he can start picking up a few points, he can actually move up quite a bit in the standings. And potentially us as a team. Just for showing up on the day, I get 25 points, but the team's not going to be happy by that, but luckily they're not mad either. Apparently they understood that it was raining and we're not going to learn much on a day like that. Excuse me. More than 2 weeks, still coming off of a cold. Let's see, what do we have for team objectives? There's one for qualifying. A clean lap. DRS. 2 different setups. We'd have to go back to the original one.
I know it's tempting to focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can.
Alright, let's go ahead and open with the track acclimatization. Flying lap number 1 of 3. Now getting underway. Gotta be careful with the concrete curbs on this one. Touch of those is devastating to your lap or race. Otherwise, this is not one of the harder tracks. Oof, almost missed that one there. Had to brake a little bit harder just to catch up on that one. Hit the apex. Oh, and I did miss that one. Actually, I got a little wide entering. Should be well on our way to a green though. But that likely took away a shot at purple. We just recovered there.
That's looking good. Now let's try for purple.
Okay, easily got green. There goes Hamilton. Yeah, one red was enough to eliminate the shot at purple as the consistency bonus went away, but you saw
so far,
four out of 7 before that were only green, so we were not necessarily on our way to a purple anyway. But the car drives easily enough, so we should have a relatively easy time getting purple on both the ERS and the qualifying lap. I'm not suffering from any oversteer, so that's good. It's just a matter of finding the limits on the car. I should not spin out or anything like that, I don't think, so. Okay, now time-wise, I'm only just getting to about where it. Woo! Whoa! Whoa! That was close. That cost us a lot of time too. Okay, well we're back in the green at least, but we are not on our way to a purple by any means at this point. We're getting relatively late in the lap. And we're half a second down. Oh no! What's going on here? I messed up one turn there, but it shouldn't have been. I'm still losing time. I'm not making competitive. This is not a clean lap in any way, shape, or form. But boy, I didn't think I was this slow. And I'm that slow. We're nothing. We failed. Yikes. That was entirely unexpected. And that was supposed to be ERS management. I just ran it like fuel management. That does not help anything at all. Oh my goodness. Boy, if I can't even hit the time on that one, how am I going to hit the qualifying pace one? Well, let's try it. Here we go. Our last chance here. Apparently we're leaving a lot of points out here. That was not a clean lap, and I definitely left time out there, but I did not think that I was at failure range. But apparently I was, so. It just kind of got away from me more and more, though, so. I fought it a little too much. And it was not the right tires to be fighting it. Now I have the right tires to fight it. It's got to be my setup partially, because you can see just how much time I'm losing on the straightaway. It's the cornering where I'm gaining time, so. Yeah, there you go. Half a second up. Much, much better so far on this lap. That's one spot that I could gain time, and I did not there. But I did not lose time either, so. Okay, much better here, and we should be on our way towards purple as long as I don't make any major mistakes. We're over a second ahead now. Oof. Okay, that was much better. Actually, third fastest right now. Boy, alright, I totally messed up that second lap, but at least we do a little bit better there. That's still 70 points that we left on the table. At least we do pick up 20 of the team objective points. That's a real boost. 724 now. It's enough to invest somewhere, something, somehow. But I'm not sure just yet what it is I want to invest in. But let's go ahead and get out of the session.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session.
There you go,
then.
third,
Here are your
with
top
Leclerc
three.
7.
Verstappen,
So I'm
Raikkonen,
not that bad.
and the Professor.
I didn't look at what time I had for myself. I was still a little distraught after the mistake around the second lap. Apparently it was a terrible lap. I mean, I was a second and a half up. And I was half a second down, so I mean there was a good 2-second difference in terms of expectation, not just time. I mean, it was more than 2 seconds difference. Team profile, always nice to see that rise with limited practice. Okay, so before we jump into FP3, which of course we're not going to participate there, I think we're coming up on another contract negotiation after this, and we're going to fail the team goals, so that's going to drop our value back down, so it looks like we could be on our way to the same contract, but definitely not afraid of getting fired, and that's just about the first time since we've started this playthrough. Yeah, we need to get something going. Morale in the aero and powertrain are both good, and I cannot afford the upgrade that I want in powertrain right now, so maybe we're going to look at aero again, where we are level with Williams and well behind everybody else, and this will make the car easier to drive. So we got brake ducts, 608. Front downforce, that's certainly going to help turning. Okay, all of them are going to have similar effect now, so it's more about what's coming on later. This is a line of rear downforce, and we've got drag and DRS, and that's the last front downforce one. Wow. For now. Looks like there are 4 more later. This would be a dead end. But I like the ability to turn. I certainly like that one. That can help us out a lot. So we're going to go ahead and develop that. Yeah, there you go. Failure chance has dropped a bit. It's down to 29% now. And we get that little bit of a discount with the morale. So there you go. We'll take that. I want to keep rolling out some more 600 for the next upgrade there. I'd like to keep those rolling out. But in the meantime, we've got to have a gap between us and Williams. And there is a little bit of a gap, but it's not... I'm not quite comfortable on that gap right now. But I think we can start to put, like, say, if I go to the powertrain, or maybe the chassis, we've got some power, but they're going to keep catching up to us. I've made 7 upgrades there. So yeah, maybe I'll head to the chassis next and get the quality control, spend 500 points there, if Williams doesn't show up with a huge upgrade here in the next little bit. Spend 500 points there so that we can start investing in long-term gains a little bit anyway, because I fully expect we'll have some sort of reset this year. Alright, on to qualifying. One shot, you know the rules by now. One shot qualifying, so 3 flying laps in practice, 1 shot qualifying, simulated race. That's the manager challenge mode. Yeah, not happening. Qualifying dry, and let's get to it.
The excitement is starting to build here at the Hungaroring as the lights are about to go green for today's qualifying session. We expect some cars out on track any moment now.
Well, considering the ghosting, we all go on track at the same time. Alright, well, car setup's gonna work. It's fine, we're not changing that. So, let's get to it. Lap is underway. Okay, good exit from the turn. Got us going for a little bit, but then the pace, as I believe it was the Mercedes, pulls away. But we are currently right up around third and fourth, so second row at the moment. Hit that one good. That was one that I definitely made a mistake on a couple of those laps. And we are still very close, and it's Ricciardo on top right now. Get over those sausages without much problem either, so we are really on our way to a good lap right now. Ooh, that just cost me a bunch of positions. Big snap of oversteer. I did save it, but that had its impact for sure, as we are down to P16 from essentially P4. Exit there. I might have gained some time back. I can't look right now though. Too much going on. We get back inside the top 10.
Nice job.
10th. That's a good starting spot. That is definitely a good starting spot. No points. No qualifying bonus. Remember, I do get Game of Decathlon points for getting inside the top 5.
It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow when the Grand Prix itself gets underway.
Wow, look at that phenomenal lap from Ricciardo, because Verstappen was in the back of the Big Six. So it's Ricciardo, Hamilton, and then championship leader Vettel with Bottas, Raikkonen, and Verstappen behind. Alonso, again, best of the rest, way overperforming. He comes in with the exact same time as Hülkenberg. And I get 10th, and my teammate is 18th. Oof, that's a bad sign, because that means I'll finish the race in 18th. And Leclerc will finish ahead of me by a position or two. Just you wait. It will happen. Close up on him a little bit, just 1 point behind. But he's going to win that race and pull further ahead. Outstanding R&D points picked up there, though. All 150 that I could have possibly gotten. And now we're up to 339. That's going to help with the team reputation. A good margin. Getting into the top 10 there. And
well done.
Here we go.
That was a good qualifying performance.
And after this round of the World
And
Championship,
both of us outside of the top. Ricciardo hangs on to get the win, though.
Weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I think I'm going to give it to Daniel Ricciardo. He's come through the field so well today, you know. Well deserved.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
Okay, so Red Bull on the back of Daniel Ricciardo getting the win today, so pulling the shoey. Red Bull go up to P2 in the constructors ahead of Mercedes yet again. Those two have been so back and forth, and yet Ferrari good distance ahead. And at the back, we are fighting for scraps, really. But in that driver's standings, it is still Vettel by 49 points, and Ricciardo moves back up to P2. Hamilton dropping to 3. And you've still got the 4 guys in the essentially no change here in the back. Let's see, was there any change? Verstappen actually ends up taking 2, so it's a 1-2 for Red Bull. It's been a long time since they've managed to do that. Raikkonen ends up finishing in 3rd, so Bottas, and then Vettel is 5th. Hamilton all the way down in P8, so he must have had a problem of some sort to drop the way he did. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he and Vettel, starting 2 and 3, came together early on, possibly even on the first lap. Both had a problem. Well, they only had 2 stops. They both went for a 2-stopper, and apparently that was not the answer, as the others all went for 3-stoppers. Maybe that's what it was. But Alonso takes 6th with Hülkenberg, Sainz, and then Magnussen getting the last point for Haas. Haas pulling away a little bit in the constructors now. And sure enough, I told you I'd be in 18th place and a 2 laps down. Slower time by nearly a second than my teammate Leclerc, who does at least get ahead of Van Dorn to take 16th. But we continue to struggle. And again, McLaren separated 6th to 17th. I think this game has way OP'd Alonso. Fernando Alonso all the way up in P6. Let's see, he got a 122.0 while his teammate had a 123.2. Now in qualifying, yes, throughout their time as a partnership, Alonso was always out-qualifying Van Dorn, but in the race, there wasn't that big of a gap in terms of times. And yes, Alonso would finish ahead of Van Dorn, but if Van Dorn was down in 17th, it was Alonso in like 12th or 13th or 14th. It wasn't 6th versus 17th. That was never happening. Just monumental gaps between them. And Van Dorn in the car is right where it should be. Alonso in the car is not where it should be. But anyway. We've got one more. And here we go again. I lose 2 more points to Leclerc. So another race weekend where I lose 1 point. He picks up 15. He picks up 5 and I pick up 4. Every race weekend since we've started, I've out-qualified him, and every race weekend since we started, I finished in P18, and he's finished ahead of me. So the AI just does me no justice, and it makes it so difficult in this manager challenge mode to keep things going, because no matter what I do, I'm still at the back at the end of the race. And we fail this one, so this is going to hurt. But definitely nowhere near the get fired zone. And it does hurt that we head into a contract negotiation.
Interactions with the media has a bearing on how you're considered by each team. Some value showmanship, others sportsmanship.
We got 19th.
Matching your
we
behavior
got a 3 and a
to the
2.
team's
Our value
expectations will
is
give us
higher.
a stronger position during contract negotiations. It's time for us to renegotiate your contract. Here you can see the current deal. Once negotiations begin, the team will make you an offer. You can accept if you like, but I strongly suggest we push for better terms.
Well, I'm going to go back to easy. And we're going to go up to level 3 again. I don't think I'm going to be able to get both of these. Why don't we try just the one? That's the one upgrade we'd be having here. I wonder if I up the I wonder. We'll take a look. We'll see what it does. I've got 3 attempts here. That'll be the first thing I change if we don't make it.
We're asking for too much here. We need
Failed.
some compromises.
What are you talking about? My value is just at the mark. That should be a success. Oh. I'm gonna take the R&D point bonus. I want to collect that. So we'll get rid of the pit stop efficiency, I guess. And go for that first driver.
Our proposal has been accepted. The new contract will take effect from the next race weekend.
That other one should have passed. I'm really surprised it didn't. So we'll see what happens with Team Order as first driver for the first time. See if that changes anything about the performance. Should start to pick up a little bit of extra R&D points, and that's going to help in the long term for sure. I'm going to glance
at
your
rivals
rivals.
From the rivalry screen on the workstation. Performing well against
Oh, there you go. Williams is unlocked again.
Better
Okay.
terms when it comes to our contract reviews.
I've checked them multiple times and they were not unlocked. The Williams I can beat, so we're going to take on Sorokin here. The Williams are the only cars that I could beat, so
we've received
we'll take on one
invitations
there.
to new historic events. You'll be
Let's
able
go
to choose
skip to
whether
the
or not
next
to
weekend.
participate before the end of this weekend.
And yes, I put on the new gearbox.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Check your workstation for the details.
Oh, my eyes just rolled. I know you didn't see it, but oh, did they roll. What do we have? Score Drivers' Championship points! Oh my gosh. Over and over again, it keeps giving me this goal. Whether I'm on easy, whether I'm on medium, it keeps going for that goal. We've never scored a point. Not once. Get realistic. Come on. Oh gosh. And we're heading to Spa. Oh gosh. Okay, so front downforce failed. Looks like there's going to be some rain in the race. This could be change things.
And they think your attitude and results might be a good fit for their
Let's go ahead
team.
and get that upgrade
Our next contract
fixed.
review if you're interested.
It'll be ready
Let's
next
see what
week.
kind of offer they can put
Just
on the table.
310 points, but that's an extra 310 points we got to spend. And an extra week before I actually get the upgrade. Over and over again, it does this to me. Of course, that's on me. It's the department efficiency. But it's down to a 29% chance of failure. Yet I fail way more than the percentages suggest. I've had about 50% failure rate since the start of this series. In my career mode, I've maxed out department efficiencies first before doing any upgrades. And while it slowed things down early on to spend the points on that, it's having massive difference. I've got the best. I'm in early season 2, and I've got the best chassis on the entire grid. And my aero, which was worst on the grid, is quickly catching up. Well, anyway, there goes all my R&D points again. Always double spending. And expensive because I have no cost upgrades. Alright, well, let's get to it.
Here we are then at the longest racetrack on the Formula One calendar.
It's this
Welcome
section
to the
right
circuit
here
de
where I
Spa-Francorchamps
spin
for today's
out
practice
again
session.
and again.
The Spa circuit really is one of the most iconic tracks on the calendar, and Eau Rouge is one of the best corners in F1 history. A sweeping left, right, left with a blind summit.
Eau Rouge has seen some amazing moments throughout its history. I remember Mark Webber's fearless overtake on
Is
Fernando
Eau
Alonso
Rouge
here in
where I
2011.
crash
The whole crowd
so
held their
often.
breath as Mark overtook the multiple world champion around the outside at 170 miles per hour.
It is coming out of Eau Rouge on the straight, where I really appreciated Esteban Ocon even more this past season when he was virtually, what was it, P2, P3? Ahead of Vettel, ahead of Perez, but they were 3 wide. And Ocon could have committed. And if Ocon had committed, he would have come out in second place. But Perez and Vettel would have crashed.
At some point before qualifying,
One or
let's
both
get
of
our
them.
track acclimatization program complete.
And
It'll help
Ocon?
us identify any specific problem areas on the circuit.
Ocon was the one who played it smart, played the whole race, pulled out of it, and Force India ended up going, what, P4, P5? And yes, it was Ocon behind Perez at the end of the race because of that. But what a difference it made for his team. Just massive. Such a smart move, such a smart driver. The only mistake he made all season long was trusting that Max Verstappen would have given him space in turn 2 in Brazil. That unlapping yourself would be accepted by Max Verstappen and not seen as pure idiocy as he saw it, which I like Max Verstappen. He is a great driver, but that was his biggest mistake of the year. And a lot of people blame Ocon for that, but it was partially, each really came down to both of them. But anyway, let's get things going here. We're going to load our setup for Spa.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Oh boy. We better get to it then. Team objectives. Top speed. Gosh, I'm not getting anything here except for the track acclimatizations. We better get that one going. Let's head out on track. And away we go. Now, I think I ended up with 0 points here last year, so let's see if I can actually string a lap together, not once, but 3 times. By the way, I have a racing wheel. It's not coming any longer. It is here, but I'm not using it just yet because it happens to be the middle of December. It's going to be under a tree, and then after I unwrap it, then we'll be using that here in the very near future. Alright, we're going to take it easy through here. Oh, and it just goes red for me, really? I go for the safety, and it totally screws me. Yes, I know I didn't go as fast as I should, but it should have been green. It wasn't that slow. At least my lap isn't. At least I didn't crash. So I think I crashed on 2 out of 3 laps, or all 3 laps. I think it was twice or 3. Oh, no, no! Oh. This is not going so well. Whoa! Boy, this car just gets away from you so fast. I did not like this setup at all, and I am in major, major danger of not completing this lap. I mean, that's 3 failed corners. We only have 300 points right now, so yeah, I think we've at least got the 5 points. That's all. Oh, we got green. We got green. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we got green. That's a relief. Like I said, I don't think we got 80 points last time out. And that's terrible. Not happy that that all I did was let off. I didn't hit the brakes or anything there through Eau Rouge.
Your car
ERS.
settings screen
I'm
on your
almost out of time,
multifunction
so I
display
need to
will
get
allow you to
through
change various settings as you
the last
drive.
couple laps in qualifying. So no more time wasting, or it could do some time wasting and do the long approach. There you go. There's still a good ways to go in this lap. It's going to be a good 10 seconds before I get to the start-finish line. Oversteer coming out of there. A little late on the brakes as I was trying to adjust the ERS. We're still up on time. And I let off a little bit, so yes, I lose about 0.3 of a second. But we make it through there in one piece. And that's way more important. Too much on the grass there. Luckily, it doesn't bite me in the butt. Still in the red though on time. We are up to purple. Really good through there, but I'm 0.6 of a second down. How did that happen? There's a mistake through there, but I recover it just about. I lost about 0.1 of a second. Cannot believe how much time I am down on this lap. Two-tenths of a second down now. We're gaining. Oh, yes, yes, yes! Oh, we made it. We made it back. We got purple. Just barely getting the time we needed right at the end. Through the final chicane, we go green, but in cutting the corner, I go wide on the exit, so it goes back to red. But we get on the gas hard enough to just get back into green with that extra ERS deployment. And it just stays in purple,
Okay, we don't
and the
think we're
time
far
goes
away
just
from
into
some
green.
rain.
That
I'll keep you
was
updated as the conditions change.
close. So close. Okay. Wow, after last season, and nothing here, this is feeling good. This is feeling real good. We had no lap time as we crashed in Eau Rouge during qualifying, so that's going to be a factor. Here comes those changing conditions. You can see that it's going to make it real hard here to put in a decent qualifying lap time. As the track is very much evolving right now for the rain. Almost lost it coming out of there and had to... Oh! I broke at the right time. It's that hard to brake at the moment. Still in the green, but really not where I want to be. Ooh! 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 And there goes that last lap. Track was just devolving real quick. I was in real danger anyway, and then I wrecked the car, and that's going to make the team unhappy, so that's no good.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind
Really
ourselves
fastest.
of the
Well,
top
Claire
three,
goes fourth
who
fastest,
are
both on
Vettel,
softs too.
Verstappen and Nico Hülkenberg. Practice times are on the board there.
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Tell us what happened.
I felt pretty good until the crash.
You had a mishap in practice. Will this affect qualifying or race day?
There you go, chassis department.
Do you have any comments about this team?
Sure. Williams likes me even more. They already liked me.
Great. Well, that's everything.
It's like they keep pushing me to join Williams because my team hates me. They hate me a little bit less now. They only strongly dislike me. But after today, we'll see. Are they back to hating me? I missed out on points there on that last lap. But after getting nothing last season, 220 points is pretty solid. But how much is this going to hurt? A little. Just a little.
I'm glad you're not hurt. That's a lot of damage for us to fix up to get you out.
Hey, you got plenty of time. That was early on Friday. Now it's late Saturday. Try for qualifying. And let's go ahead and get to it. This should be wrapping right now, but we've got a lap and a race to sim. Shouldn't take too long, though this is the longest track.
Time at Spa, one of the mightiest tracks on the Formula
If I
1
make it to
calendar.
the end
Long straights,
of the
up
lap,
and downhill,
it'll take a little
Eau
while to
Rouge
get there.
as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted.
And away we go. Okay, much better through there this time, but I don't know what that does for me time-wise. Actually, it does a lot for me time-wise, as I am P1 at the moment. Oh, come on, really? Wow, I was way out of the gas for a long time there, and that's going to do it. We are way down in P20. There's no way I'm coming back on this one to get above P20, am I? I've got to be too far down. I mean, that had to be seconds. I guess that's my real target is P19. Right now, that is my current goal for this lap, is can I somehow overtake the Williams, one of the Williams, if not both of them, before the end of this lap. Not too far out of sight. And it's been a really good lap otherwise, and I was super cautious through there, and I still almost lost it in there. I don't know, let me know in the comments below if you have as much trouble. I mean, Eau Rouge is like the hardest corner in Formula 1, so I get that. But I have never found a balance to get through there in one piece very well at all. No matter how cautious I am, it's still P20. I was nowhere near to see how far the deficit was.
Hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
At least I didn't DNF, but that was ridiculous because I was extra cautious through there. Leclerc goes 13th.
Your top three are Ricciardo, Bottas, and Kimi
I almost
Räikkönen.
caught up.
The grid is set then, so
Dang.
that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
I almost caught up. I almost passed Sorokin. But Leclerc goes 13th. Ricciardo, Bottas, and Raikkonen on top. With Hamilton all the way down in P9. Wow. Well, that's going to hurt. Not as bad as a DNF, but that's still going to hurt. It's sad that I was able to put in such a good lap time after nearly spinning out there. And that's also a horrible way to open the rivalry, as I lose points, and that drops me further behind Leclerc, as qualifying's been the only area where I've been ahead of him. And I lose a good bit of points here, about 70 of them. First driver bonus, though, for the first time, so there's eight extra R&D points. Reputation with the team. Not hurt, thank you. Okay, not hurt.
Obviously, I expected a better session, but these things
And
happen
let's
from
get
time
this
to
thing
time.
done
Try
so
to
we
make
can
up
wrap
for
up
it.
the episode. So here we go. How did we do? Did we get
So
up
then,
out of the
it's
bottom?
time to see how this result
Vettel
affects
comes
the
from
Drivers'
5th to win.
Championship. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I'm going to go for Sebastian Vettel. People have suggested before that he can't race wheel to wheel, but as he showed today, it's nonsense.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time, though, goodbye.
No points for the bottom 4 teams. Ferrari, 85-point lead. No change between Red Bull and Mercedes today. Vettel's lead at 62 extended a bit now as Ricciardo gets up over 200 points. Hamilton's still close behind. Raikkonen close behind him. So it's very tight at the top, though Bottas is a ways behind. So Mercedes is definitely struggling quite a bit this year. You've got Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, and then Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes. So Vettel takes the win. Raikkonen gets up into 2nd place. Verstappen takes 3rd. Ricciardo, after starting on pole, drops to 4th place with Hamilton in 5th. Bottas down in 7th. Hülkenberg getting up into the top 6. Ocon picks up 2 points for Force India. Sainz gets the last point. Magnussen just missing out. He's always right around P10. Leclerc gets 16th, and I do get my consistent 18th place finish with Stroll and Sorokin rounding out the field. Grosjean all the way down to P17 today. We went for the one stopper. And that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. At least we're ahead of Sorokin. Bye for now.